Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is the summaries of the Bhagavad-gita that we have gotten from Srila Prabhupada's various purports. So we're halfway through. The 7th and 8th chapters of Bhagavad-gita have explained pure devotional service to the Lord that is free from speculative knowledge, mystic yoga, and fruitive activities. Those who are not purely sanctified may be attracted by different features of the Lord, like the impersonal Brahma Jyotir and localized Paramatma. But a pure devotee directly takes to the service of the Supreme Lord. So let's go back for a second. So if you see where it says speculative knowledge? So if you follow speculative knowledge, then you will realize impersonal Brahma Jyotir. If you follow the path of mystic yoga, you realize localized Paramatma. And fruitive activities, no, that's karma kanda. That only gets you at best the heavenly planets. But if you take to Krishna consciousness, then you go back home, back to Godhead. Let's continue. There is a beautiful poem about Krishna in which it is clearly stated that any person who is engaged in the worship of demigods is most unintelligent and cannot achieve at any time the supreme award of Krishna. The devotee in the beginning may sometimes fall from the standard, but still he should be considered superior to all other philosophers and yogis. And Krishna Kumar, that was stated by Krishna himself at the end of the 6th chapter, when Krishna said, out of all yogis, he who abides with me with great faith is the highest of all. Do you recall that verse? Good. One who always engages in Krishna consciousness should be understood to be a perfectly saintly person. His accidental, non-devotional activities will diminish, and he will soon be situated, without any doubt, in complete perfection. The pure devotee has no actual chance to fall down, because the Supreme Godhead personally takes care of his pure devotees. Therefore, the intelligent person should take directly to the process of Krishna consciousness and happily live in this material world. He or she will eventually receive the supreme award of Krishna. Shall we continue? Now, Krishna is instructing Arjuna in more confidential knowledge of his opulences. So now we're in chapter 10. This purport is in chapter 10. Now Krishna is instructing Arjuna in more confidential knowledge of his opulences and his work. Previously, beginning with the 7th chapter, the Lord has already explained his different energies and how they are acting. Now in this chapter, he explains his specific opulences to Arjuna. In the previous chapter, he has clearly explained his different energies to establish devotion in firm conviction. Again, in this chapter, he tells Arjuna about his manifestations and various opulences. So that's Prabhupada's introductory summary found in the first verse of the 10th chapter. The 10th chapter is called Opulence of the Absolute. We shall continue. Due to the contamination of material association through many, many millions of births, one's heart is always covered with the dust of materialism. But when one engages in devotional service and constantly chants Hare Krishna, the dust quickly clears and one is elevated to the platform of pure knowledge. So there, Prabhupada is hinting at the first Shikshastakam line, Cheto Darpana Marjanam. The ultimate goal, Vishnu, can be attained only by this chant and by devotional service, and not by mental speculation or argument. The pure devotee does not have to worry about the material necessities of life. He or she need not be anxious, because when one removes the darkness from the heart, everything is provided automatically by the Supreme Lord, who is pleased by the loving devotional service of the devotee. This is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad-gita. So in this pamphlet that we did, many times Prabhupada is saying that this is the essence. So there's many different answers to this essence. There are different, it's not the same. So here he is saying this is the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad-gita. By studying Bhagavad-gita, one can become a soul completely surrendered to the Supreme Lord and engage him herself in pure devotional service. As the Lord takes charge, one becomes completely free from all kinds of materialistic endeavors. So that is from the 11th verse of that 10th chapter. And that is the last one of the Chatushloki, 8, 9, 10, and 11 of the 10th chapter is the Chatushloki of Bhagavad-gita. So this purport came from the final verse of that Chatushloki, where Krishna says, I, dwelling in the heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Okay, let's continue. There is a mission that regularly propounds that worship of any demigod will lead one to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or the supreme goal. So that, of course, is the Mayavad teaching. That's the Mayavadi philosophy. But worship of demigods is thoroughly discouraged herein, because even the greatest demigods, like Brahma and Shiva, represent only part of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born, and no one is greater than him. He is Asamaurdava, which means that no one is superior to him and that no one is equal to him. In the Padma Purana, it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category with demigods, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Sri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading, by the expansion of his partial representation, the supersoul. So that's why previously I said that the Paramatma, the supersoul, is both localized and all-pervading. He's localized within the heart, but since he's in everyone's heart and even within the atom, simultaneously Paramatma is all-pervasive. He's both. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the supersoul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees, therefore, concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in the transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter. There it is in verses 8 through 11, because that's the nutshell verses of the Gita. Do you have a Bhagavad-gita handy? Would you like to read those verses? Verses 8, 9, 10, and 11 of chapter 10. If you would be so kind as to read them out loud for us. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Okay. Just the translation.
I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
Very good.
9. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are fully devoted to my service, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me.
Good.
10. Translation. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. 11. To show them a special mercy, I dwelling in their heart, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge and darkness born of ignorance.
Very good. So those are the 4 nutshell verses of Bhagavad Gita. Let's continue with the excerpt. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 through 11. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the highest devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushana, a great acharya in disciplic succession from Krishna, concludes his commentary on this chapter by saying, Yach Chakti Leshat Suryadya Bhavat Yati Ugra Tejasa Yadangshena Dritang Vishvam Sakrishno Dashamerchate. From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power. And by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Lord Sri Krishna is worshipable. So this purport excerpt was from the final verse of chapter 10. Would you be so kind, Krishna Kumar, as to read 10:42, the final verse of chapter 10? So we have some reference to the purport.
But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
So there Krishna is referring to his Paramatma, The Paramatma pervades and supports the entire material creation. And that's a partial expansion of Krishna, as we just read in the purport. So we can hardly imagine how potent and powerful is Krishna. Let us continue. So now the next excerpt we begin will be in chapter 11. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. And that is the major theme of the Srimad Bhagavatam. That line right there, that Krishna is not an incarnation, that Krishna is the source of all incarnations, that is the major theme of the entire Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the line I am thinking of? No, from Bhagavatam. That Krishna is the source. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Very good. Now, Mahatma Ji, since you are near the microphone, I want you to have a Bhagavad-gita so that if I need you to read a reference, you can. Because, yes. So I may call upon you, Mahatma Ji. Use that one, yes. In case I need you to read a reference. Okay? Yes. All right? Do you have your sheet? Yeah. Good. All right. This chapter reveals Krishna as the cause of all causes. He is even the cause of the Mahavishnu, from whom the material universes emanate. Krishna is not an incarnation. He is the source of all incarnations. That has been completely explained in the last chapter. So Mahatma, go to 10.8. Read the translation to 10.8 to show everybody where Prabhupada, why he made that statement. What is 10.8 translation?
Translation.
And nicely in the microphone. Thank you, because I'm recording this.
I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds.
So they're right there. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Continue.
Everything emanates from me.
Everything. Anything excluded by the word everything? No. Everything includes everything. There's nothing excluded. Go on.
The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts.
So I have a question for the class. So can I consider all of you, what's the word that was used? Wise? Can I consider you wise? Why? Right. Are you not engaged in devotional service? But what? No, that's not what it said. It said what? The wise do what?
Wise who perfectly know engage.
Engage in what?
In my devotional service.
That's what makes you wise. Not that you just believe. Right? That believing that's nice, but you have to put your money where your mouth. You have to engage in devotional service. What devotional service are you doing right now? Shravanam. Very good. Am I doing Shravanam?
No.
Yes.
Oh no, you're kidding.
No, no, I'm doing two.
Both
Thank
sides.
you. I'm doing two. Yes.
Okay.
Don't cheat me. Okay? Don't cheat. Yes. Okay, let's continue. Now, as far as Arjuna is concerned, he says that his illusion is over. That was in chapter 10. Go now, Mahatma Ji, read the 12th verse of chapter 10. This is an important verse. The 12th verse of chapter 10.
Okay.
Please.
This is combined together.
Yeah, we'll read them. Yeah, just read the translation.
Arjun said, "You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate abode, the purest, the absolute truth. You are the eternal, transcendental, original person, the unborn, the greatest. All the..."
Okay, stop there. So, from what Arjuna just said, can he be an illusion after saying that? No. Because now Mahatma, to prove what I just said, right? Go to chapter 15, verse 19. The first verse I memorized. Chapter 15, verse 19.
Okay.
Translation, please. Go ahead, don't wait for him.
Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of God,
Okay, wait. Whoever knows what?
me as
So who's the me?
me is Krishna.
Krishna, very good.
Me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without doubting, is the knower of everything.
Well, what do you know? Okay, who accepts Krishna without doubt as God? You know everything. Very good. Hey, isn't that what we just read? Continue the verse.
He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharat.
Wow. Again, he's saying that same thing. In other words, again, you got to put your money where your mouth is. The proof that you know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is that you engage in devotional service. So, the most important thing I have to ask myself at all times, am I engaged in devotional service? If I'm not engaged in devotional service, I am in Maya. Only two choices, chocolate and vanilla. No tutti frutti. You're either engaged in devotional service or you're in Maya. You had a question?
I guess on this paragraph here, if I agree with the first part, which I do, and I do believe I have no doubt for Krishna, but the second part it says, therefore he engaged himself in full devotional service. I don't think I do that.
Do you do some?
I do some.
Good. Keep doing it.
No, but that's true. But
And try to increase. Okay, I will answer your question. Okay? Are you ready? Chapter 13, verse 9. Chapter 13, verse 9.
Okay, verse 9, 8 to 12.
Oh, excuse me. Is it chapter 13? No, I'm sorry. No, that's the wrong verse. Hold on. Chapter 12, verse 8. 12.8. Because 13 is the process of knowledge.
Yes.
12.8. What's the title? Not you, Meenakshi Vajrani. Title of chapter 12? Bhakti Yoga. Okay, read number 13. Number 8. No, go to 9. Go to 9.
Okay, 9.
Yeah, because we're going to answer his question. Go.
Okay. My dear Arjun, winner of wealth. If you cannot fix your mind upon me
Okay.
without division.
Yes. So in the previous verse, Krishna gave the topmost platform. Think of me.
Yeah, just fix.
Okay? But always. Now he's giving the second option. Pay attention, my dear friend. Go. Read now the verse.
Then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga.
Follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. That's the platform we are all on, either beginning, middle, or advanced. So you said sometimes, yes? So you should try to increase, okay? So the first thing is you have to learn what are the regulative principles of devotional service. That's why we study Prabhupada's books how often? Every day. Every day. Are you reading every day? Oh. There you go. So now, do you want to improve? Start reading every day. That's it. Baby steps, baby steps.
Baby steps.
Okay, hold on. Stop. Everybody chant Hare